Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Emilio.
And joining us today from the Horrible Gamers Podcast is TheMayo. Welcome.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Doing good, man. So you were a longtime listener, then you got the bright idea to start your own video game podcast.
Where'd you get that from?
Well, actually, it wasn't my own. I actually kind of joined these guys, so they've been doing it for I think maybe about 6 years now total.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh, okay. Damn, they got us beat.
No, we're at 7 years.
We are
7 years?
right around the same episode ish.
Yeah, so. Yeah. If you look at the numbers, you're a little bit behind us. We're actually this December will be our seventh year anniversary, or like.
So podcasting is officially ours. You can't have it.
Yeah.
We were there first.
Oh, okay.
But a little fun trivia here. So Mayo, your daughter created our logo.
That's true.
Yes, way back in the day. Not way back in the day, but I remember working with you guys.
Well, we went through a few logos, but the one we currently have and have had for a while now is, the one that she created.
Yeah, the one with the mouse, right?
Yeah, the one
yes.
with the mouse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
She is continuing to do some more digital artwork, and she does an amazing job, and she continues to learn every day, but still has no interest in doing it for a career. So
Interesting combination there.
Did she do the artwork for your podcast, The Horrible Gamers?
No, she did not. She has done some drawings
we would
for
hire
us. But yeah, no, she has not done our own artwork.
Okay.
I know somebody who can get in contact with her if you'd like to.
Okay. Yeah, send me a link afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we were talking before the episode started about the origin of your name, and we decided to save it for the show here. So how did you come across this name, TheMayo?
I get that all the time, and it's actually pretty uneventful. I actually work in a grocery warehouse, so we ship a lot of food to, which would be Kroger over here on the East Coast, big grocery chain.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That's Ralph's over here.
Yeah.
Yes, and so some of the guys I hang out with, we play some games together. A guy, his name was Tavish. He always went by Cabbage for some reason.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of goofy all the time. We kind of were screwing around and playing some games together. I did not have a gamer tag as I didn't play online a lot at the time. And so as we started getting together at work, he just started calling me Mayo for some reason. And he's like, this other guy would come by and play every once in a while. And he called him Carrot. And he would just jokingly say, we're like the power of coleslaw put together. And I don't know why. And it just ended up sticking. I'm like, you know what? That's unique enough that I'm just going to keep using it. And so I used Mayo so he could identify me online at first.
Are you like super white and Carrot is a redhead?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pale and I guess you could say ginger. So what little hair I have left.
There we go.
But there you go.
You have that power within you, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, pretty uneventful.
I like that it's a name that somebody gave you, though. It's a true nickname.
Yeah, true nickname.
You didn't just show up one day and be like, guess what, guys? Call me this now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something, I struggled with when I first started. When I first got into Steam, I tried a couple of different names and I thought they were just really dumb. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And then he kept calling me Mayo and just kind of stuck, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep using it. And then I just kept using it. And then everybody's like, what an odd name, but something kind of fun to say sometimes. People are like, hey, it's Mayo, kind of thing. And so.
Yep.
Hopefully somebody else can check that on the stream. I guess he's getting no sound. What was I going to say? Oh, in the fight world, man, like you can definitely tell the guys who named themselves, like the ferocious pit bull Bobby or whatever. Like, and then you'll see the other side of it where it's just like, I don't know, like not John Bones Jones, John Jones, the best who ever did it. He's they call him Bones because he's fucking so skinny. It's almost always derogatory, the ones that are given. Like you kind of picking on each other, and then the one where they're calling each other like high octane Hank or whatever. Like definitely, you just picked it yourself, man.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we are having a sound issue, so I'm going to be distracted by that for a little bit while you guys carry the show.
Sure, no worries, man. So
Emilio, actually, I just want to throw out there real quick. Jumping on the stream, I see all the jars of mayo pictures. Do you remember back in the day when I become a Patreon and you guys were giving out T-shirts with the Patreons?
I do remember this, dude. This was
And
good.
so you sent a requirement that when I got my T-shirt, that I sent you a picture of me in my T-shirt.
Yeah.
And my response was I took a jar of mayo and put it in the collar of the shirt and sent it back to you like it was kind of sitting up in a chair. And that was like my picture for the longest time for you guys. That's
was fucking
what you guys
awesome,
had,
man.
was a jar of mayo.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I do remember that. All right. Looks like our sound is working again for the stream. So let's talk about some video games here. I'll lead it off here because I got something I want to get out of the way. I played Halo 4. It was recently released as part of the Master Chief Collection. And this is going to be weird because I have no nostalgia for Halo. Like, I played a little bit of it back in the day. Like, very little of it. A little bit on the PC. I remember that, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of feelings for Halo. So it was kind of weird for me to actually play this game, and it's like, it's a little dated, even though Halo 4 came out in like 2012. It feels very much like a console game. Right away, there's a cutscene referencing a bunch of stuff that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt a little lost. Then I thought, you know what, man, obviously the single player is not going to be for me, so I jumped into the multiplayer, and it's pretty standard deathmatch. They had a few other modes. Tons of achievements, though, just popping up left and right. But I don't know, man. I was super underwhelmed by it, but I think that's just because I never played these games back in the day.
Yeah, probably. I mean, why'd you think the single player? You should have tried the single player. Isn't that what makes these games good?
I don't know. Well, the single player is okay. They can hear Mayo. They can't hear us. That's all right. I'll continue to work on that while speaking eloquently about Halo 4. I mean, really, that's all I got to say about it, though. I mean, the game is the single player game is very standard for like a first person shooter. I mean, even for 2012, it seems a little dated, but I think I would have enjoyed it more going back to the first Halo and playing through the story on there. And so I wasn't dumped right in the middle because it was really kind of hard to connect to it. And the other thing is, I don't know what the best Halo is. Like, I really should have asked somebody, like, hey, what should I start with here? Because I could have played. Well, Sniper's saying in chat here, 4 is the worst one. So yeah.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So that
Halo, I don't know. For me, the same way with me and Halo is I have no idea of like the story or anything on Halo, and I have no like draw to even play it. Our community has a lot of console players, and they're into the Halo. A lot of them are Xbox guys, and I just don't have the draw. I can even tell you the main plot, and the shooting to me just doesn't feel that great.
I'm pretty sure there's aliens in it. Something about aliens.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit of an invasion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I know who Master Chief is and all that stuff. Can you guys hear us now, by the way? I think I fixed it. That's the line for me. I always say, I think I fixed it. But fuck, what was I going to say now? That's what happens when you try to do two things at once.
Don't worry, Clay. You missed probably the greatest commentary on video games.
That's going to be a pain in the ass to patch in later for the YouTube video, but
I'm glad I got to hear it.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Halo does have that. I do like the gunplay on it. I mean, it feels like Destiny, right? It just has a good game feel to it. And driving the Warthog, that feels great. Yeah, sure. But I don't know if that's not going to carry the game, right?
I wonder if there's like high-res texture packs or versions of like Halo 1.
Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Here's an interesting thing. So I played this on Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, right? Still got a few months left of that for free. And when I did it, I loaded in, and the first thing you always do on a PC is you optimize the graphics. So I go into the settings, and the settings that I was applying to it, the graphic settings applied to all the Halo games. It sends you into the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
First of all, I was kind of annoyed that I had to download all of it. All I want to do is play Halo 4. I have to install 160 gigs of data to play this game.
Why'd you pick 4 randomly?
Because that was the one that just came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I was like, oh, it's the new one that just came out. I jump right in. be part of the conversation. But I had to install the entire thing. Now, here on Steam, you don't have to do that. You can pick and choose what you want to install.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, but not on Xbox Game Pass. So I installed the whole damn thing, 160 gigs, just to play Halo 4. Didn't play it very much, and just uninstalled it after that. But I did find it cool that when I set the graphics settings, it just applied to all games. It was like, max it out, and boom, you're good for all the games.
So you had Halo 1 like in high res and stuff, right? Isn't there a remastered edition on there?
Yeah, Halo 1, Halo ODST, no idea what that means. Halo 2 and 3, I guess. Yeah, they're all in there, man. It was all in a big list. So I could have played that one. I mean, it's a nice collection. How much are they selling it for on Steam? Could you scroll down just a little bit, Sniper? $10.99 Canadian. What is their currency over there in Canada?
It's like $2 more than American.
Oh, I meant what's it called?
Oh, dollars.
They call it dollars?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a
original
different shade of color. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not super expensive, and it looks like it might be on sale right now.
Socialist nuggets. I don't know.
I wonder who's on their printed money.
The Queen, man. They still have to bend the knee to the Queen officially, I think.
Oh, really?
I think they're all...
I thought it might be their first president whose name was Johnny something, which it just seems hilarious.
Johnny
to me.
Spanks.
It's like Johnny McDonald, I think. Sniper, you can jump in anytime and correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, Prime Minister? Yeah, President. President of Canada, no. Yeah, the Prime Minister. Yeah, the first one, Johnny McDonald. Pretty sure about that.
Oh my, I can't be silent. It's John A. Ronald McDonald. That was his actual name.
What the fuck? That's worse.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is not John A. the Hamburglar.
But he went by Johnny McDonald, right? Am I correct here?
John A. McDonald, not Johnny McDonald.
I thought it was
You're
Johnny.
letting it run.
Okay. All right.
I mean, they could have called him Johnny Kennedy, right?
Why?
I don't know. I'm just saying. If that guy's name is John, see, his friends could have called him Johnny easily. Same thing with John F. Kennedy. They could have called him Johnny Kennedy, like his friends could have. But officially, it's John.
Yeah.
Am I losing you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for all the Canadian listeners. We're butchering their history here. But, all right.
Oh, he
there
looks
is.
like a twat, too.
Yeah, he looks
They'll get over it.
1878. Oh, that's fascinating. All right. I'm gonna be on the lookout for a documentary on Canada's first prime minister.
It's going to be a short one, dude.
All right. So what'd you guys play?
I'll go ahead and let Mayo talk. Hey, Mayo, I want to know more about your podcast first. What do you guys talk about?
Yeah, so we pretty much are a weekly podcast covering pretty much all gaming of any form, console, PC, the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Switch. We don't really cover much mobile, but we pretty much cover it. Our show usually runs about 3 hours a week. Mm-hmm. We usually kind of start off. I have two co-hosts on there, Jesus Walks a Lot and Gunny Cheap. And we usually just kind of talk about what we've been playing throughout the week and kind of our experiences with those particular games. And then we kind of go into covering basically that week's news and gaming, and then kind of finish up with some listener questions and just some feedback from our community.
Sounds oddly like our game. Our podcast. Oh, no, in the early days, it sounds exactly like it. Except for the, you guys cover a lot more stuff, which maybe we should diversify because this week we got nothing going on, man. There was no PC gaming news. I looked up like my usual websites that I go to and check it out. It's all Black Friday
Yeah, it's
deals.
all Cyber Monday, Black Friday
Yeah.
deals. Which is usual for this time of year. And we've got Cyberpunk right around the corner. Things are happening. New Call of Duty game. Who cares?
Yeah, 11 days until Cyberpunk.
Yeah, December 10th.
Did you buy it yet, Bobby?
No, not yet.
Mayo, have you bought it?
Yeah, I have it pre-ordered.
Nice.
Okay. I've gifted that to 2 people now. It's like a nice gift because everybody's gonna buy it yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just have a lot of people that haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's going to be a wild ride once that game drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is going to be interesting when it comes out, I think.
So talk to us
Whether-
about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so I've been playing quite a bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla here the last couple weeks, and initially I picked this game up on the Ubisoft. I want to call it Connect now. I still call it Uplay because they just got done changing their name. I went ahead and paid for their monthly pass because I wasn't sure if I was going to buy this game or not. At the same time, Watchdog Legions also had come out, and so I figured for my $15 I could get a shot at Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Watch Dogs I kind of fell off that one pretty quick, but then I picked up Valhalla when it came out, and just going to throw it out there, I skipped the last Assassin's Creed game, Odyssey, and I played Origin. So it's kind of, I haven't been in that victim of playing it every year, so it feels a little more fresh to me than it will toward other people. But I really like this game. Our community is really into it. I don't know. It doesn't change much from Origin, and from my understanding of Odyssey, it kind of has that little baby RPG elements where you're picking up different weapons, and they had different stats and stuff like that. And the fighting in this game is really fun. It's really satisfying. You're cutting heads off, and you get that little animation where you can like shove your axe in a guy's shoulder, and the animation he sticks his foot against him and then pulls it back out, and it makes a bunch of noise and stuff.
Super graphic stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's really graphic, and it's very satisfying, the combat. And it can get repetitive. It's still a lot of almost like button smashing. Lock on this target, attack, dodge. Attack, and dodge. But it's just satisfying. It's hard to explain. I think some of it's the Viking era for me. It makes it better than like Origin when I played in the Egyptian one.
Yeah.
And it feels polished. I played the game for a while and I thought I was doing good. And a couple of the other podcasts I listened to were talking about the game when you start off, and they're in it for a little while, and they leave and go to England in the game. And they were all regretting, like, oh, I wish I would have stayed at the beginning level longer. And so I'm like, I'm just going to play through this beginning level, and I'm going to see all I can see in this. And so I found all the points where you can see the areas, and it unlocks the map, the fog of war kind of thing. And I went through and did all that stuff before I left toward England. And that was basically probably 4 hours of gameplay I probably put into it. And then when you leave for England is when you get the splash screen for the beginning of the game. So it's like a 4-hour tutorial for me.
Damn.
So,
Must be a long game.
Yeah, I think the last Assassin's Creed was a long game also, if you wanted it to be. I think you could beeline through the campaign, but the side quests can take a lot longer if you choose to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's usually the case with these games.
In the teaser that I'm watching here on their website, I'm seeing that there's some sort of siege going on with the battering ram. Do you take part in that, or is that just a CGI?
So the sieges that I've done so far, in this one, when you're traveling, you travel by boat, and you will come across like these islands that have camps on them, or they're right off at least like a river or like a big open body of water. And it will just ask you, like, I'm using a controller on this actually while I'm playing on my PC, but it'll be like hit Y and you can like basically raid this fort, and everybody that's in your boat you'll dock, and everybody comes running out screaming, and they fight with you as you overtake this camp. And it's kind of neat because the archers are attacking, and your computer controlled AI people are fighting along with you. But you also have that option. You could like go around the island and then dock, and then you could like individually sneak up in there like a typical Assassin's Creed game and just kind of one by one take people out. So you got different routes you can take into clearing these forts. But to me, the most fun I've had is just going with a full raid, and bringing everybody in with me and just killing everybody as you're running in. And all the like common town people are running from you as you're going in, and the soldiers, they're trying to fight you, and you're just cutting heads off and stuff, and just going at it. And
The raping and the pillaging.
Yeah, and then that's what this game is pretty much all about. You get to England, like shortly after you get past this intro, and you basically set up a settlement, and you want to grow your settlement. So you have very little resources, and so there's these on the mini map they give you. There's basically these towns and stuff that you need to raid, and they tell you what level they are, and you go and raid those, and you get the supplies and stuff like that, and you bring it back to your base, and then that lets you upgrade your stables for horses, or let you upgrade like your troops that come with you and stuff like that. It makes it so you're stronger, and then also you start finding new weapons and stuff like that.
Sounds like 100-hour game at least, man. From everything you just described,
I think it can be if you try to do all the side quests, and it's one of those games where you just. It reminds me of like something like The Witcher would be. Like you can go into a town and they're just side quests. You just pick up, and I'm just like, not right now. I'm doing the main quest, kind of thing. But you could just get lost and sidetrack on a side quest, I think.
Yeah. That's pretty much every Ubisoft game, isn't it? Any Far Cry game, any Watch Dogs game.
Anymore.
Yeah. Just all about that open world.
But yeah, this game graphically looks great. I'm playing on a PC, which I have a 2080 Super in my PC, so I pretty much run the game maxed out. It looks good. I play on a 1440 resolution monitor, at 144 frames.
What are the other consoles do you have?
What consoles do I have? I own a Switch and an Xbox One X.
And you usually go with the PC if it's available?
Definitely.
All right, cool. We would have hung up.
Oh yeah. Well, back in my roots in the DL roots, I've always been a PC guy, and I kind of dabble in the Xbox. But now, like the Xbox is just kind of there for decoration. It's like a Twitch video player in my living room.
Well, especially now that Microsoft is opening up their libraries.
Yes,
the PC side of things.
Yeah, well, Microsoft is. Do they extend the Ubisoft subscription service to consoles?
I think they have one on the consoles. I'm not positive because I don't mess with it on my Xbox. But I do know that they are working now. You can do cross-platform saves. So when I play Valhalla on my PC, it's linked to my Xbox. So if I wanted to go and play on my Xbox in my living room, it would take off in the exact same spot, which is kind of nice that they're doing that now nice. With this new Ubisoft Connect.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
Not that I would play on my Xbox, but
I haven't played a goddamn thing this week. Here we go.
Well, you were out of town most of the week.
Every week it sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but on Wednesday I flew out to go see my family. This is my first time traveling under COVID rules and stuff. It was interesting. They don't let you do any bandanas or like neck gaiters or anything like that. It has to be a medical mask, and it has to be like fitted pretty. Like they're not fucking around, man. They don't want any of those videos. What I wonder. I feel like none of those videos of people like getting pulled off the thing ever happens on Southwest for some reason. But anyway, I flew Southwest, and they were letting us know that you can't. So I had to put my neck gaiter away, and I had to get a medical mask out, which wasn't a big deal.
Do they? If you don't bring one, do they provide one for you? Or oh, okay.
And then all of the middle seats were empty, but because we were a family, we could use it if we wanted to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you're flying as a couple, or if you were strangers, then that whole middle seat. So the whole fucking...
Because there's usually 3 on each side.
Right.
On a plane.
But now it's 2 on each side.
Okay.
Yeah. And the planes are 2/3 full. So the airport is 2/3 full. Plus, a lot of people are not flying. Although, I heard, record numbers of people flying or something like that. Or maybe it was just like a lot of flyers because of COVID.
Well, it's Thanksgiving.
It was more than they expected during COVID, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So it was, dude, this is the way flying is supposed to be. I felt like I was like a VIP, man. You just walk right up. There's no lines anywhere. You sit down, you pick whatever seat you want. It was great, man.
They didn't have assigned seating?
Southwest never does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I've flown Southwest too.
Yeah.
Odd.
That's why there was like I used to fly a lot more on, and there was like 6 flights in a row. I got a fucking phone number because you always sit next to the cute girl. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Well, if you got your choice of seat.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so, everything was super pleasurable, man. It was like some of the best flying I've ever done. Is it worth the risk? Who knows? I hadn't seen my family in a while, and they hadn't seen the baby. Oh, also, flying with a baby, weird. Everybody's looking at you like, oh, why would you give that baby COVID? That's the look that they give you all the time. Like, oh my God.
Well, a baby on a flight is usually a bad sign too.
Yeah,
just in
that's true,
general.
too. We were the only baby in the airport and flying there, and there was one baby coming back with us, which was nice. But it's weird because it's also the only person not wearing a mask, right? The babies don't wear masks.
Yeah.
Which makes it's just odd looking.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you've been thinking about it, I would recommend it. I think they're taking enough precautions. I don't know how good their filters are on their air filters, when they all that recycled air.
Yeah, I mean, if some people have to fly, so I mean, if you got to, it's nice that they're taking all these precautions. But I don't know if you don't need to. I don't know if I'd say like, oh yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, go for it.
All right, strong endorsement. Thank you, Epic Tryhard Phase subscription for 15 months, man, year and 3 months, outstanding. It's up there, man.
Thanks, man.
It's one of the higher ones. I may be shopping for a new mouse pretty soon. So I've got a Logitech G Pro. It's the old version. They got a new version of this mouse out there with the better sensor and whatever. I got this one maybe about 2 years ago. It's about 2.5 years old. And I noticed a couple of days ago, maybe about a week ago, it started the left click.
Double clicks?
No, it's very weird. It's when I click and drag, it lets go. It unclicks. So I'll be moving windows around on my desktop and it'll just let go and then it'll just immediately click again on something else, totally messing something up. And I noticed this a lot when I started playing Team Fortress 2 because I play a lot of medic and you constantly have to hold down the left mouse button.
Right.
And then this week, I played a little bit of Warcraft 3 in RTS, and I really noticed it in there. Like,
yeah, because you make the boxes, right?
Yeah, you draw the boxes constantly. You click and drag all the time in an RTS. And I was like, that's when I was like, oh, this is a big problem. And then even after that, I was working on one of my final projects for one of my classes, and I was editing in Premiere, and it was super annoying. Like, it was so bad. So I don't know, 2.5 years on a mouse. I feel like that's not a long time. My other mouse lasted a lot longer. It was kind of a crappy mouse. I've been pretty happy with the G Pro. I don't like how it lights up. I constantly have to disable that. Like, it always turns on by itself. I just am not super happy with it. But other than that, like, I love the size of the mouse and the weight. It's super light. It's a great mouse. So I'm kind of sad that it's having these issues. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it's gotten better the last day or two. Because I really started banging it around. Like, you try all these stupid things. Like, maybe this will fix it. You just like hit it a couple of times.
Swing it around your head, dude, like a lasso. Who knows?
But I think the thing is just busted. Because usually when there's a problem like that, like, it's a mechanical problem.
Yeah,
it's not coming back.
Yeah.
So I started shopping around for new mice, which I haven't done in forever. And I really, really like the light mice, the low weight. And I know Final Mouse was a company that had like really specialized in light mice, but I found one by Cooler Master called the MM710. And it's a very popular mouse. It looks a lot like the Final Mouse. It's very small. It's a smaller mouse and it's very light, 53 grams. And it's on sale right now for $30. So I don't know. I may pick this one up. I'm not sure yet.
That's so cheap.
Yeah, $30 is incredibly cheap. It's got the 3389 sensor, which is, it's a good sensor. I don't know, man. Like, I think a lot of people overdo it though, including me. I'm always just like, well, this one's got the 3380 sensor and this one's got the 3389. So, I mean, I really maybe I should upgrade. It's like, who knows, man? Like, who's really going to notice that?
He nailed it, dude. It looks like a honeycomb.
Yeah. Yeah, they call that the honeycomb.
With the holes in them. I picked up the Glorious Model O.
Oh yeah.
not too long ago, and just to try it out, like my local micro center here had them in stock, so I'm like, you know what? It was like $50,
Which
and
has a
I'm
very,
enjoying
it's got the
it.
honeycomb case to it as well, right?
Yeah, it's really lightweight, and I went from a Logitech G903, the wireless gaming mouse that they were bragging about for a while there. But I did notice the other day, like these mice company are starting to show more mice with the holes in it, and Logitech has one out now too. I just seen online somewhere. I don't know the model number, nothing like that yet, but it has that same appearance to it with all the holes across the back.
Yeah. Well, you can make them a lot lighter by doing that. So I think that the first time I saw it was on the Final Mouse, or Final Mouse was the company, but I can't remember the name of their products. But yeah, I did see the Glorious Model O pop up a lot. A lot of people seem to like that, but they only had it in white, and it's got that rainbow LED on it. And I really don't like LEDs. So
And you can turn off the LED, and I do know they do make a matte black and a gloss black.
oh yeah, same with the Cooler Master. They got a matte and a gloss. Yeah, and you know what? The mouse that I have now, you can turn off the LED, but the problem is it turns itself back on anytime the computer is restarted, or if I remote into my computer, which I do quite a bit, like all the time. If I'm not at home, I remote into my computer at least once or twice a day. So it's constantly being turned back on. That's our Emilio going to the bathroom sound effect, folks. If you're counting, it's his first bathroom trip.
That's number one.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, the Glorious Model O is a little bit bigger too. It's got a little bit more of an arch, it looks like. And I like the smaller size. It's not too big. I mean, I had a giant Logitech before my G Pro. So I don't know. I'm tempted to buy the Cooler Master like right now because it's $30. And I swear when I was checking like a few days ago, it was 50. So I don't know if this is some Black Friday deal or whatever, but it seems like a good time. It's just, I'm always so reluctant to buy new hardware.
Yeah, I bought a couple in the last, I must say, 2 years. I had a Razer I really, really liked. And then I ended up getting this Logitech because I heard such great things about it, you know, the 903. And then just the Model O, I just ran across it in the store one day. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a try and see what happens. And so I kind of switch it up every once in a while. But I have had this Model O on my desktop now for probably about 4 months. So I'm getting pretty used to it.
Yeah, I had a lot of Razer back in the day before I got Logitech. It also would be nice to be free from the whole Logitech gaming suite software center or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I think it's horrible.
yeah, not a fan of that. Although I do have a Logitech webcam, so I don't really need it for that though, unless I want to do some
Yeah,
weird
same
stuff.
here.
The webcams are just like plug and play for the most part. Like, what are you going to do?
You can adjust things in the software center. You
But
can
have
like
you?
desaturate. Well, for some reason, it always is it under or overexposes? I don't know. I can't remember which one, but it never gets the exposure right, and I have to manually adjust that whenever I stream, which isn't very often these days. For some reason, it's only when I stream though. When I use it through Streamlabs, everything else it's fine.
Yeah, 2 years, man. It's not much.
2.5
Do you-
years.
Do
It's
you
like
remember what
2.5
you paid
years.
for that?
$50-$60.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a super expensive mouse, not even in the $100 range. It was just, and it was like during the Heroes of the Storm days. So I was very concerned, like, well, what has the best sensor? And,
Yeah.
you know,
Cable
drag.
all those Hear the Storm clicks, all those hours you put in there.
Yeah. I think playing Medic is what really ruins a mouse, though. It was Medic, and there was playing Medic on TF2 and some other game or something else that I was doing where I had to click repeatedly a bunch of times. It might have been a software that I was using, and just for some reason, it just wouldn't. I couldn't get something to work right, so I had to like just manually do it and like click a lot on something. So I don't know.
I always have this argument with you about that Medic. Why not just put the sticky click? You don't have to hold it down.
You're totally slower if you do that. Like heal, you press down. Not
Right.
heal, you lift up.
Right.
And if you're just like click to start, click to stop, then you're like, and plus sometimes it will break the beam. So it's really difficult to tell if your healing target gets further away, it just breaks the beam.
I can see how it's faster to switch targets.
Yeah, it's just, and I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Trust me, with all my hours in medic.
You've tried it though?
Yeah, when I first found out about it, I was like, "Oh, this is great. This will save my mouse." And then immediately, I was just like, "No, don't like that at all."
Yeah, because when you're playing medic, 80% of the time, 85% of the time, you're holding down that left click.
Yeah, you're holding it down a lot, but you're also lifting it up a lot too.
Yeah.
So,
I remember buying the Chaos Spectrum. I don't know why, but I got a fucking something on my butt. I was like, I'm gonna get the best mouse out there, and it was like $120, and it just came in this cardboard box with no frills, and I was just like, all right. And then I plugged it in, and it didn't jack me off or anything. It had it looks like the Batmobile. I don't know if you could pick it up. It's the Logitech Chaos Spectrum, I think. That was the one. And it had weights, so you could take the weights in or out of it, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, man, it's a great looking mouse for sure. But it didn't, dude, it lasted like a year, and then that was it. I don't know. For the most part, though, for peripherals, you can almost always go with Logitech. But, they can't be right every time.
yeah, I mean, that's just going to happen. You get mess up. And yeah, I remember when this one broke on you.
Yeah.
And I've had really good luck, dude. But the Logitech mouse I had before the G Pro lasted forever. I only got rid of it because I was finally like, it was crusty, man. Like it was literally crusty, and it was a big mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? It was like, dude, it was an old one. It was a big giant mouse, man. It was so huge. It was a wireless one. It was like this old Logitech one that was real popular back in the day. And it wasn't even a gaming mouse. It was like a productivity mouse.
There's not a whole lot of moving parts in those things anymore. So like there's not a lot of points of failure. There's the laser and there's the 2 clicks or the however many clicks that you have.
Yeah. No, it's older than all these ones that Sniper's pulling up here. Yeah. It was a dinosaur, dude. Like you can't even really find it anymore. It's just, wait, is that it? The 2? No, that's not it. No, dude, this thing is so
pre-internet. Like it's not on the internet anymore.
Pre-DOS.
Trackball.
That's a handsome looking mouse.
Yeah, the thumb rest right there. I don't need the thumb rest.
Yeah, it looks like the Starship, not the Enterprise, but the weird one with the chick captain.
Voyager,
yeah.
Anybody buy anything for the Steam Autumn sale?
I did, man. I bought bullets per minute.
I should say not just the Steam Autumn sale, because everybody's doing a sale right now. GOG, Epic Game Store. Yeah.
Went to Epic real quick, browse for a second. I was like, there's nothing here that I would want that I would buy it off of Steam. And it's not just me being a Steam fanboy. It's a lot of it's like I forget that I have these games on Epic because I don't load Epic very often. But I bought bullets per minute. It's sitting like a 93%, overwhelmingly positive. I don't know how many. I only played it long enough to see how the mechanics work because I was really curious on how they made this game work. Because almost every rhythm game is either on rails or stationary, right? So either the music flies at you or whatever it is that you have to do, a la Beat Saber, or you're going forward and you have to do something prompted by the track that you're on, right? But this, I don't know how hard it was to do. Maybe not as hard as it sounds, but the game is a free range game. It's like playing Doom. You have full range to do everything that you want. But you can only do certain actions on beat. So you can only shoot, pull out the clip, reload the clip, and dash on beat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like you'll see those things coming in from the side where it said survive right there. See those things? Kind of like, so when those hit the center, that's the beat. So it's just like, pretty cool music too. Depending on what room you're on and what's going on.
Does it actually feel like you're going along with the music?
It does.
Oh, okay.
When you start going. And then, so with my rhythm, I guess my own internal rhythm, I was going every other beat and having a really good time with that. There's like dun, ch, dun, ch, dun, ch, ch, dun, ch. and it was working out really well for me. But I knew that I wasn't playing optimally because I wasn't reacting on every beat. Right, I could be twice as active if I was going on every beat, but I only played for literally.
Got to step it up to cut time.
Yeah. So we'll see. But so far, and the aesthetic, it's like super saturated. I don't know what to call this. It's like almost like if you were fucking with the settings and you put color saturation all the way up or something like that. It seems like it's wrong, but it looks good. They did a really good job with that as well. So more on this next week, hopefully.
Yeah, it gives me that Doom Eternal feel, which I enjoyed a lot.
I mean, that's what it really looks like, but the experience is completely different.
Right.
And the, I don't want to say the art, because you're fighting demons, but I don't know how to explain that color scheme. You know what I'm talking about, Bobby? You see it, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like a reflective, I don't know. I haven't seen it before, and that's a good thing. For sure.
And this game is, about $15 on sale?
Yeah, I paid $14.99.
All right. That's not a bad deal.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I looked around the autumn sale. It's like, nah, nothing looking that great yet. I mean, it's always weird during the autumn sale because we've got the winter sale right around the corner.
Right.
Like 3-4 weeks. Yeah. So not really rushing to pick anything up yet. And also, this is like their Black Friday deal, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
with everything else that's on sale right now. There were some really good deals. I can't remember where they were. They were on Epic. $5 for Senua's Sacrifice. That's a good deal. I don't know if Steam is comparable, but
I think Steam's had it for $5 before, or at least that game has been $5 before.
Yeah.
Or you can get that on the.
How much is Hades, Bobby?
$8.24 Canadian for Hades. It's a good deal.
So that's like.
Oh wait, no. We're looking at Senua's Sacrifice. Actually.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not sure how much Hades was, but they're also doing the Steam Game Awards, which they do every year. Deep Rock Galactic posted something in their Discord saying if they get nominated for one of these categories, they're going to give away this cosmetic for free to everybody, and it's a little Viking hat, which is like, wow, of course. Like, why didn't they have that before? A Viking hat, of course. But I voted for them for I don't know, whatever the co-op one was. It would be nice to see that. But, these games, these are more in fun, these Steam Awards.
Yeah, they're not serious.
Yeah. Well, they've been pretty goofy. This year is actually a little better. Most innovative gameplay, outstanding visual style, better with friends. So, yeah, a little
Just
more
going to jump in real quick. Wasn't it Deep Rock one of your games of the year at one point? Or runner-up?
Yeah, it was. No, it was our game of the year, I believe.
Before they officially came out.
Yeah, we were on a streak there where I think 3 years in a row we gave game of the year to a early access game. Mm-hmm. Darkest Dungeon, Deep Rock Galactic. I'm not quite sure what it was, I think, PUBG.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I forgot to mention this during the talk about mice, but there's a YouTube channel that has just been very valuable to me during all this research called Rocket Jump Ninja. I've talked about this channel before, but this guy is I think an pro Quake player or something like that. And he's got these very to the point videos on YouTube.
Short.
Yeah. Pretty short, just to the point, comparing all the different mice or going over one mouse in particular. And it's super helpful. You always appreciate a YouTube video that gets to the point, right? Because there's just a lot of fluff out there. But yeah, if you're in the market for mice, then Rocket Jump Ninja is very helpful.
A lot of time when I'm looking for, usually not reviews, I'll say how-tos and stuff, I'll almost always click on the shortest video.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because you just
because even if it's not good, you didn't waste that much time.
Yeah, of course.
And the whole play at 1.5 speed is such a godsend, dude. Just so helpful.
Hey, Mayo.
Yeah.
Since you got into podcasting, what did you not see coming, and what do you enjoy about it?
Oh, I don't know. So a little more background on me. Before I got involved with you guys over in DLG in the community, as in gaming with you guys a little bit, I will throw back. I remember playing with Bobby. The first time I ever played with Bobby, I sent him a code for Honor
For Honor, yep.
to when it was in beta, and we had played that together. And that was my first experience with Bobby. But before that, I actually played a little mobile game, Clash of Clans, and I got with a bigger clan that had a Clash of Clans podcast, and we did a little bit of content there. So like, I kind of got my feet wet with like that kind of podcast stuff. And then I came over to DLG. I got to meet Bobby and Chi, and just talking through Discord. Discord being the great thing that it is, makes it so we can meet people like you guys and myself and stuff. Because like you guys, we are very accessible. Through our Discord, and so getting to play with you guys and just getting familiar with like the podcast world, and I just grew really comfortable with it. I became friends with these guys over at HTP, and at the time they were big on console, and they were one of the main hosts. Jesus Walks a Lot was debating about getting a PC, and I'm all PC master race over here, and I'm like just messaging him. I'm like, do it, dude, do it. You're not gonna regret,
Yeah.
And just one day I just happened to be on, and as a guest, and just talking, some PC stuff and kind of helping them through things, and at about that same time, one of the hosts, he was going to step down because he had had a baby, and so he just didn't have the time. And so that's the thing for me, is the thing that probably surprises me the most in a way is the amount of time I put into it. Even the recording time for us, like I said, our shows are about 3 hours, but we usually get together and kind of hang out for like an hour before the show, and we kind of hang out a little bit after the show. As usually during the week, we don't play together a whole lot. We just kind of pretty much talk about our games together, me and the other host.
Yeah.
So we're in different time zones. I'm what we call in the show from Little Old Ohio, and they are like you guys over in the West Coast. So the time difference makes it difficult to play together for the most part because I'm 3 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah, man. Instead of stepping down, I just put all my responsibilities on Bobby. And so now I just show up drunk and piss on the mic and leave for the most part.
So I can remember that's been Emilio for the longest time. I remember back in the day when, he who shouldn't be named, I believe, and she is back when I listened, and that was the MO for Emilio, I think. How many pee breaks could he take during an episode?
I might have hit a record like 2 episodes ago. It was
Yeah, it was a lot, man. It was like 2 or 3 in the first hour.
Yeah.
All right.
But
So
podcasting has been great. I mean, it's it does keep me busy, and it's a good time. I enjoy it quite a bit, and it's a hobby, and it's something I'm always paying attention to, like the gaming side. And now there's people at my work that are always asking me questions, and just the meeting people is something I really enjoy too. Is the communities and stuff like that. So
You guys are you on the night shift over there?
I am on day shift, and my co-host Jesus is on night shift right now. So he picked up a new job, and they have him like on a swing shift. So me, I get up really early. I get up at like 3 a.m. and he is pretty much just getting off work when I'm getting up. So
perfect.
yeah, so we've been trying to squeeze in our recordings when we can here lately on Sundays, but yeah, and that's probably the hardest thing about podcasting, I feel like, is trying to sometimes coordinate schedules and having guests on and getting things lined up, because sometimes you feel like the stars have to align for all of it to work,
Yeah, like last week when you canceled on us. Oh,
yeah. I was trying.
when we had 4 people, it was really tough to I don't know, when we were younger and we had a lot of people, it was really tough for us to find a time that worked for everybody, a day or a time.
Yeah.
As we got older and people dropped out, it kind of became a little easier to just say like, okay, Sunday's this time.
Yeah.
And being local, I couldn't imagine how hard that would be to get that together that way. It's hard enough online.
Yeah.
Hey, Mayo, talk to me about Godfall, man. I need to hear some good news about this, because all I've heard is bad news.
I can't bear that good news there.
Son of a bitch.
So my experience with Godfall, like right off the rip, this game is only on the Epic Store for PC, and it's on the PlayStation 5, I think. And so I was curious about this game. I'm like, you know what? This is supposed to be this PlayStation 5 next gen game. It looks good. It looks interesting. The developer, they make Borderlands, so they make a good shooter. I'm all in. So I went ahead and paid the $60 on the Epic Store for Godfall and
Which
down the game.
let me cut you off real quick. Does Epic do any kind of return policy? Do we know this? I know they were working on one.
Do some kind of return policy. I couldn't tell you what the criteria is.
Oh, man. I've only gotten free games, so I don't know. Can't return those.
Yeah, so I buy very few games from them, but this is that one game I didn't really have a choice, and I kind of wanted to cover it for the show because my co-host had not picked it up yet. So I went ahead and bit the bullet, even though I don't like the Epic Store. My co-host called me the big steamer over here because I'm so pro Steam, and they come from the console world where they don't care. They're just like, wherever I can get the game, I want to play it.
Right.
And I was always, no, Epic's evil. I would never buy anything from Epic. And then slowly, I started picking up them free games, and then I picked up like Detroit Becomes Human and a couple other games that were still, at the time only on the Epic Store, to cover for the podcast.
Yeah.
And so they kind of suckered me into it a little bit. I keep telling them, but Godfall, yeah. So right away, my Godfall experience, when I installed this game, it was only 25 gig, which kind of surprised me by today's standard.
Yeah.
And so, okay, I don't know how long the campaign is or anything like that, but I get the game installed and installed pretty quick. And I go to launch the game, and I can't get the game to launch. And I'm like, what is the deal here? I get some little error code, and I don't ever usually have any kind of issues on my PC. And it said I didn't have permission to launch the game. I'm like, what do you mean I don't have permission to launch this game? And it kept giving me the same error. I restarted my PC, re-logged into the Epic Store, and it gave me the same error. So doing some research online, for some reason I had to launch the Epic Store app as an administrator, even though I was already administrator on my PC. And that's the only way it would let me launch the game and play it.
I've had the same issue on Game Pass. The exact same issue. I had to run it as an administrator I forgot what game it was, but yeah, I've had that issue as well.
I'm the only user on this PC, and I am the administrator, So besides that, I got it going finally. I'm like, okay, minor hiccup, So I get into the game, and like Bobby says, being a PC gamer, the first thing I do is go to the options menu, and I want to start putting this game on max settings. And I was pretty disappointed in the lack of options for graphics. It was your typical low, medium, high, ultra. But today's games have the the DLSS option or the ray tracing option or the different options for like I would say like draw distance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It had your basic shadows, it had your textures and stuff like that. But it just felt very bland in the way of options.
Definitely not next gen or whatever.
No, I didn't feel like it right away. So being from was it a Gear? I'm trying to think of the name of the company. Gearbox, yes. They make Borderlands. I expected a pretty good PC experience, and the options was kind of lackluster. So I get in the game, and it shows you this little cutscene, and it looked really cool. I was impressed with the graphics of the game. Looked good, and you start on this circle platform, and right away, my frame rate. I have a frame rate counter. I'm running like 120 frames a second on the game. I'm like, oh, that's good. It's running pretty well. And then I do like a 180 turn, and there's no enemies on my screen, and my frames drop down to 80. I'm like, okay. And if you look up, my frames drop, or they jump up to like 115. The game kind of was all over the place in frame rate. So I'm like, okay, I'll just, it's going to bug me, but I'm just going to turn off the frame rate counter because it's going to drive me nuts seeing that number drop. I'm just going to give this game some time. So you go through the tutorial, and this game is best described as like a hack and slash game where they just drop different weapons for you, and you can change it up, and you get different fighting styles and stuff like that. I myself enjoyed the graphics. The audio is amazing. The audio in this game is just spot on. It's probably the best audio I've heard in a game in a long time on my PC.
Nice.
And I don't know if that's something the way they recorded the game, because they talk about how this new PlayStation is supposed to have this really nice audio hardware, and the games are supposed to sound so much better, and there's like a 3D effect to it. I think it's just something the way they recorded the audio for the game, because it sounds the same way on my PC. And, I don't have anything different. I didn't change anything, but the game sounds like it has really good 3D audio, and the explosions are real loud and crisp, and everything just sounds really good. So I'm like, okay, that's a win.
Sniper, do me a favor. Can you pull up Godfall for PS5?
On Metacritic?
On Metacritic, yeah.
So as he's pulling that up, so I get into the game, and the combat in this game just feels soulless to me. You attack when you lock onto a target. The camera really wants to fight you. So if you feel like you need to kind of deviate a little bit from that character you're locked onto, the camera just will not let you. It just kind of starts turning. If that guy moves to the left, the camera is automatically just moving to the left with him, and you're like, no, I kind of want to see what's on the right side. And this game has a lot of characters too that will like shoot you from a range, and your FOV, which you don't have a FOV slider in the game, so your camera angle is kind of close to your character, and there's a lot of stuff on the side that's shooting you can't really see, and you don't know it's coming. So I wish there was an FOV slider to slide the camera back a little bit to give you a better picture of what's going on. I feel like it's too close all the time. And then combat wise, you're locked on this target. You can pretty much attack on this character, and it doesn't break their attack. They'll continue to swing and continue to do their attack, and then even when they die, you can continue to attack right through them. The game doesn't really let you stop animation. You can just keep going. You can just button smash your way through this, and
there's no interrupts.
Yeah, and it just feels like for a game that's supposed to be a AAA game, and that's its sole point of the game. This game is to hack and slash your way through, find new weapons, and increase that power. It's kind of like Borderlands. You're always getting new guns, you're getting new gear, and you want it to feel good. And that combat just, to me, feels empty.
Yeah. So it's all looks, no substance, sounds like.
Yeah, so far. And maybe they'll have some updates. The other thing, too, is there's different weapons. There's like, you can get hammers, and then you can get like swords, or you can like these dual-wielded daggers. The daggers feel great. The character kind of spins around a lot, and you kind of feel out of control. But then you can like just hit a button and immediately switch to like this hammer. And the hammer is like slow and powerful. And the game dropped like 3 or 4 different hammers for me, and they looked a little bit different visually, but it was pretty much the same animations throughout. Yeah. So it also worries me is
that's that 25 gigs right there.
Yeah, this game has all it's going to be based on gear, and getting these drops and these new weapons all the time, but it doesn't really change the way the game plays and feels. So I don't know. I probably have about an hour and a half, 2 hours in this game, and I didn't even enjoy it. Yeah. I just thought it was myself, and I have a 21-year-old son who lives with me, and he was looking forward to this game, and I had him sit down and try it, and he played the tutorial, and he stopped, and he's like, it's okay. And he had the same kind of thoughts I did.
Oh man, I wonder how much money went into this, Bobby. Every time me and Bobby talk movies, he always has these like the numbers, right? But because I feel like these are private companies, they don't release.
Yeah, it's probably hard to really calculate exactly how much they spent on this.
Why is it that movies have public? They release it to the public how much things cost and stuff.
I don't know. Well, it's difficult with movies because a lot of times the budget. Well, I don't know. There was a certain point in time where this changed. I don't know. Maybe it was like in the 90s or shortly after that. But a lot of money nowadays is spent on marketing. Sometimes in more rare cases, but sometimes more than the actual movie costs to make. They spend more on the marketing of it. Yeah. So sometimes they don't factor that into the budget as well for movies.
Bobby, if you try to do a Mandalorian fucking like impression, you would nail it. All you would have to do is talk slower. Oh, okay. That's all you would have to do, and you're there. Yeah, whoever it was that said that, like, it's right there because I just started. I watched an episode.
Shit, I still got to watch that show.
Well, you haven't even watched one episode?
No, the new season. Okay. I haven't seen the new season. Okay. Kind of saving it up. Probably during winter break. That's too bad about Godfall. I remember we talked about this.
Dude, okay. Talk about this very, like, the color aesthetic is not your typical color aesthetic, right?
Yeah, it's very bright and vibrant. It looks really impressive. I mean, it is a really good looking game. There is a lot of shiny gold. And the other thing I hit on too is in the options there was not an RTX ray tracing option, but this game actually did a partnership with AMD, and it's going to have AMD's form of ray tracing in it, and not NVIDIA's ray tracing, which was kind of interesting. If that's something we're going to be going toward when these new AMD cards come out. That is it going to split? These games only going to support one.
Like kind of like G-Sync and FreeSync was supposed to at
run
least
on anything, right?
Yeah, at least going forward, it should be able to. You should be able to use that with it, or I don't know. Anyway, what you were saying about the FOV, I'm wondering if you can go into like an INI file or something. I don't know if you want to get too into it, but usually there's ways if a game doesn't have an FOV slider where you can actually set that in the game's files somewhere if you do.
Yeah,
but you shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't have to. That's kind of ridiculous. And this is not the first time Gearbox has messed up. I mean, it's not like they're this infallible company. We all remember that Aliens game, right? Which, to be fair, like I played it and I was like, yeah, this wasn't too bad. Just because I had heard about how horrible it was for so long. Colonial Marines is the game I'm speaking of. You and I played it, in fact. Yeah, and I had heard such terrible things about it that by the time I went in, after it had... they had probably patched a lot of things because there were some real AI issues there. I think it was kind of playable, but still nothing great. I mean, it was not a good game, but I was like, you know what? I bought it for like $250. I'm happy.
Yeah. For $250. It's because people bought it for $60 and weren't happy.
Yeah, I could see
that was the bump in the road, man.
Oh, and Battleborn. Did they make Battleborn?
No.
So keep scrolling down there, Sniper.
Battleborn was an indie title, dude.
Battleborn? I don't know about that.
Oh, Battleborn. Yeah.
Battleborn.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, and that game totally failed. That game actually had a little something to it, though. That wasn't a bad game. It just didn't catch on. That was one of the casualties in the 2016 Overwatch war. Like, all these games came out against Overwatch and just got demolished and just died instantly.
Yeah. I mean, Overwatch coming out at $20 was genius. It was 20, right?
It wasn't 20. It was 30.
Okay,
it was like 30 for the base. It
wasn't 60.
Maybe 35. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't 50 or 60. It was cheap. It was $40.
It's like we got the biggest dick in town, and we're only charging $30 for it.
Yeah.
$40. I feel like on Godfall, the PlayStation 5 is probably going to keep this game alive for a little while. But on the PC, I don't know. I just going to get lost in the shuffle real quick.
Yeah.
Well, we had Sniper looked it up. It was a 63 as well on the PS5.
Yeah.
So it seems to be.
And the user reviews were even lower. Like, people do not like this game. The outlets are rating it a little kinder, but
God, that's a drag, dude.
One game right now on the PS5 that's only, I think, on the PS5. It's not on the PS4 as an option. A lot of these new PS5 games are coming out on both. So right now, in my opinion, it's not worth getting a PS5 or a new Xbox because there is a PS4 and an Xbox One version of every game coming out. The new Spider-Man on the PS5 and all that stuff is going to be available on the PS4. The only exception is Godfall. So I just think people are going to be buying this game blindly, without looking at reviews. Be like, oh, this is a PS5 only game, and
getting fucked.
It's gonna be their true next gen game, and it's not. And I think it's gonna be one of those games that die fairly quickly once other PS5 and other games come out.
That's too bad. That sucks.
On the PC, I think it's just gonna disappear.
Bobby, do you have anything else to say on the Steam autumn sale?
No, I haven't bought anything yet. Probably won't.
So last night I came back from my trip, tired, my only night to game, and Sam's like, "Oh, we got to go to Friendsgiving," which is the same like little bubble of people that I always get together with. It's about 10 people, and I was like, "Well, all right, whatever," because the Tyson fight was on, and I wasn't way into it. I was like, oh, I gotta watch Tyson fight again. I guess really quick, I'll touch on the Jake Paul thing. Jake Paul fought some former NBA player, which I thought was really weird because Jake Paul was taller, or at least he looked taller. I guess that NBA player is one of these like really short ones. He was 5'9".
Nate Robinson, I think he's
Nate Robertson's, yeah.
So they didn't seem like they're in the same weight class?
No. Not Jake Paul is not a huge guy. But I'm saying if you're in the NBA, you expect to see this huge dude. And so this guy was not a big guy. And, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, this Jake Paul guy's actually put in real work. Like, he's becoming a real amateur boxer. And he's fighting other YouTubers or any kind of personality that's not professional fighter and just beating the fuck out of them. And so this Nate Robertson guy is like, hey, man, I'll fucking kick your ass. When he's probably hurting for money or whatever. He's like, I'll kick your ass any day of the week. So they set him up for this. And he got humiliated. Like really bad. Like he got knocked out several times. He got knocked down about 2, maybe 3 times. And then he got laid flat on his ass, like dead asleep. And it was bad. And it's just a mismatch. That's what you're going to get when you don't have this whole thing. This whole production was an exhibition. There was no judges. There was no there was definitely a referee. And there was legit people there. Like legitimate people from fight business were there doing commentary, stuff like that. The production value was actually pretty good. It was sponsored by Weed Maps, so there was a lot of talk about like the Legalization Act and all that stuff. And it was an interesting night. I'm not going to complain. I thought it was pretty good. I've seen train wrecks. Like usually when they do these like celebrity boxing matches, it's just the production is dog shit. Everything is just bad all the way up. And this was watchable. Like everything, I was like, okay, I get it. The first 2 fights were actually pretty good. This one was a fiasco, and then we got into the Tyson fight. He fought Roy Jones Jr. I put $100 on Roy Jones. I can't even talk anymore. I was really sleepy going into this podcast, and I started drink. I was like, if I drink a lot, I'll wake up. And now I have some sort of like half of my face fell asleep. Roy, I can't say it. Roy Jones Jr., who has this incredible record. People say he's the best, like the most underrated champion of all time. And you know, I've heard a 3-hour podcast with him, and then I heard a 3-hour podcast with Tyson. And I was like, oh, I think Roy's going to take this. He's younger. He's always stayed in shape. His last fight was 2 years ago. Tyson's fight was 15 years ago. And Tyson's 54, Roy's 52. I was like, I don't think he's going to touch him. So I put $100 on Roy. Mike Tyson lit this fucking dude up, man. Bad. Hurt him real bad. Didn't knock him out. It was a good fight. I've seen these like retiree fights. They do them. They used to do them in the UFC. Now they do them in lower organizations. You just get big names that these guys can hardly walk around, and they're shuffling and they're just riding on their own old coattails, you know. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to watch this, dude. It's like to watch like Snoop Dogg was doing commentary on this last fight. He didn't do commentary throughout, but he did it on the last fight. The first thing he did in the first round, he's like, this is like my 2 uncles fighting at the cookout. Like, that's what they look like. They look like 2 uncles or 2 grandpas. Like, they're older. I mean, fucking ripped for their age and better in shape than I'll ever be. But still, you can see they look old as shit. But once Mike started moving around the 3rd round, you're like, oh, shit, here's the Mike of old. And he's tearing this guy up, man, real bad. And so much so that in the post-fight press conference where they're talking to each other, it looks like Roy's holding his insides in. Like his body is so fucked up. He's holding himself like this while they're interviewing both of them. He's just kind of like trying to not shit his intestines out. Mike fucked him up, and they were talking back and forth, but not with respect, But definitely both egos were tested that night. I don't know how much the pay-per-view was. I gotta send my buddy some money. But the off-site judges scored it a draw because I guess this is what you do when there's an exhibition. So my money was safe, which is nice. But it was definitely not a draw. There's no way it was a draw. It's just one of those things,
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Mayo, what the fuck is Mario 35?
Oh, so Emilio. So I wanted to talk about this game. This is a Switch game, right? And you have a Switch, right?
I do. I have two.
That's what I thought. So I think this would be the perfect game for you right now because you're just saying how busy you are and stuff like that. So this is basically a Super Mario Battle Royale. It is free if you have the Nintendo Switch Online Play right now. And so it doesn't really tell you anything on this game, like how you play it, but basically you jump in with 34 other people and you start off on world 1-1 and you go through and basically as you kill enemies, it will send those enemies to a random person.
Oh,
So the game gets crazy because say you get to the water level and you have the fire ability and you kill one of those like floating octopuses.
yeah.
It will send it to like a regular land level for somebody else.
Yeah.
Or kill Bowser in world like 1-4, Bowser will appear on somebody's map just randomly. Like he could be in world like 1-2 and he would just appear.
That's like Gem Fighter or like Dr. Mario, where all your combos are being sent to your opponents, right?
Yes. And so like you can kind of see on the screen there how it shows all your opponents on the side. You can use your analog stick on your controller and you can control who you send enemies toward. You can do people with the lowest amount of time because you build time by killing enemies, but you can die if you run out of time, like a typical Mario. So you can actually send more enemies to people with lower time, but that kind of helps them. But other people could be sending enemies there too, so it could be flooding that guy with enemies,
and he'll die.
He messes up or missteps and falls into a hole or dies. Or you could do it. You could do the guy that has the most coins. So as you collect coins, you can see in the screen there's a top left. It shows the POW in that picture. You can use that POW and it pretty much kills all the enemies on screen. And it's a random roll. You can either get a star, a mushroom, a flower with your 20 coins that you spend. And so that's the value of having coins. And the goal is to be the last Mario alive. And it gets hard. Like the best I have done myself is 4th.
Damn.
It's fun because the reason I say it's a good game for you is with little time and kind of being on the go, you would have to have an internet connection, but it's a short run. You can play through a whole series in probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're back into another one. You can stop if you need to.
And this is only on the Switch?
Yes. Yeah, this is a free game right now on the Switch. They did it as part of their 35-year anniversary, I believe it was. And it's for a limited time. And it's something I hope they keep around because it is a lot of fun. And it's easy to get into. They don't explain the game at all at the beginning. But like I said, it's pretty simple. I mean, you go in, you kill enemies, it sends them to other people. And it took me a second to use.
Conceptually, man. That's fucking awesome.
And you can see too, there's like random piranha plants.
That's what I was going to say. Level. If you kill a piranha plant, it's just coming out of the ground for somebody else.
Yes, and it could be like on the corners of like where they're going to jump. I mean, you kind of see it coming up on the bottom of your screen. What's your enemies, and the enemies that people send to you are kind of gray. So you have an idea, but it's crazy when you're going across the level. And you have like Bowser come at you all of a sudden, and he's like throwing the fire that kind of comes over and down, and you're like, oh shit, you're dealing with, flying troopas and stuff like that. And so it really changes the game, but it has that classic Mario feel. and you still use the D-pad to move and stuff, and you have your A and B's to jump and your run, and that's as simple as the game is.
Damn, dude.
And
I'm glad
it's
you brought this
addictive.
up.
And I was really surprised.
I've never even heard of this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And,
definitely give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it.
The online pass is $20 for the year, right?
Yes, yeah. So you get that, and you get the I call it like the classic Nintendo set. So you get like a bunch of regular 8-bit Nintendo games, regular NES games, and then they give you a handful of Super Nintendo games with that year membership for the online play.
Oh,
also.
gotcha. Okay.
And it has like your Mario 2, it has the Mario Lost Levels, it has Mario 3. So you can go back and play these old games on your Switch or on your TV. I play most of my games on my TV. During the summer, I do kind of take it out to my patio and sit on the deck and play on the Switch. But
Bobby, you grabbing the Switch yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But I like this idea. This is such a creative idea.
It really is, especially for an iconic game. Like if you were, it kind of makes it. If you're going to do this on its own game, it almost might not work because not everybody's going to be familiar with it for a free game. You just like whoever wants to put in the time is going to gain. But everybody knows anybody of over 25 years knows exactly how all of these bad guys work.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonder if we're going to get a Sonic 35.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
You also get the Hammer Brothers. I forget about those characters. Those are a real pain too. When they show up and they're lobbing the hammers at you, and you're trying to jump across platforms. It's kind of a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool. All right. We don't have too many listener questions this week. I guess we should get to those, though.
I have one, really.
Oh, yeah, one. Because the other one's going to have to wait.
Yeah.
This is from Warconius. He says, Bond is back and handled by Hitman creators IO Interactive. What do you want from a Bond game? Got to move this window because somebody knocked the monitor. Serious Daniel Craig or silly Roger Moore or super cool Connery? Thoughts on Hitman games? Okay, so what's up? We got a new Bond game coming out,
I guess so.
and it's being done by IO Interactive.
Do we know about this? Let's get some clickies. Can we get some clickies?
Have not heard about this new Bond game yet.
I haven't. I am going to say, the first thing that pops out at me is like cool gadgets. I think that, but it's been done to death now, especially like Watch Dogs. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
For you to outdo Watch Dogs on gadgets, it's going to be tough. But like, yeah, a certain level of cool would definitely cool with gadgets. That's what I want.
Okay.
I want like sleek.
Well, I wonder
Sexy.
what they have the right to, like
Seductive.
if they can use Daniel Craig, because I feel like that's the current state of Bond, and that's the only way you could really be successful. Like if you made like a James Bond game with Sean Connery, you might get some older people who are like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know. I think there's a lot more appeal for the modern Bond here. And okay, so IO Interactive, they make the Hitman games. I have only played one of the Hitman games, and I think it was the second one, and it was not when it came out. It was way later down the line. So it was kind of hard to really critique it, but I don't know. Those games never really impressed me that much. The new Hitman games, the ones where you're walking around in stealth,
Yeah,
those ones
those are
seem
cool,
pretty
man.
good. I have
They're
not
pretty
played
cool.
those.
I want to say that one of them is on the Xbox Game Pass. I cannot confirm nor deny.
They gave one of them away, the first one away for free on Epic.
Okay. Did you get it?
Yeah, I did. Have
There
not
you go.
played it. Yeah,
There's
I
your
should try
homework.
that one out because that one looks cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad they're doing something with that IP. Because what else have they been doing with?
It's kind of hard to get it right, I feel like. Because exactly why he asked this question is why it's hard to make a good game. Because different people want different things out of a Bond, I feel like.
Well, we talked about GoldenEye last week.
That's where I would be at. I would want a shooter out of Bond, kind of like the old GoldenEye game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. GoldenEye, that was, we talked all about it last week, but that was a great game for a lot of reasons, but it seems hard to replicate that in this day and age. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. I wish they would open it up like they have with Star Wars, where you can pretty much play any type of game with a Star Wars setting or theme.
Bobby, did you think about? I want to ask you, why did you not pick up Squadrons, or have you not thought about it? Or
I've thought about it. Yeah,
is it a $60 game?
No, it's on sale for I think $24 on Steam right now.
Fucking pick it up, dude.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
He doesn't want to play with me. He won't play with me. He won't play anything with me anymore. I don't know what I did.
He won't spend money. That's what it is. It's not a free game. He's not going to play with you.
I know, man. Well, this probably won't end up for free on Epic, but Tropico 6, man, I'm not paying full price for that. Come on.
Yeah, but the last one you played was 4?
I played a little bit of 5, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I played a lot of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up 5 intending to play a lot of it and didn't. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's up there on my list, but I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger yet. I just reinstalled Battlefront 2 as well, just because TF2 is kind of overrun with bots at the moment. So I was just like, I need a good game just to like dip in and dip out of.
Yeah.
So I think Squadrons, from our community, what I hear, the game is best in VR. I know you guys have the VR. You have the Oculus, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's why I hear the game is best, is when you're playing it in VR, everybody I talk to say the game feels like it was made for VR, and they kind of just like on the side was like, you know what, we're just going to release this for everybody and make it available. But they said the game is just so much more immersive because you can look around and look behind you, and you see the droids behind you on the ship, and you have like the different view of your pilot has, the different kind of ships is affected by what you're flying, in VR, where I guess, if you're playing it on a PC, it's not as good, I hear.
Yeah, well, any game you're sitting in a cockpit is going to benefit a lot from VR.
Yeah.
I just worry that it would affect my gameplay because I feel like I could game better without VR, and it seems like a game where that would really matter. If it's like a walking sim or something, who cares, right? Yeah, strap on the VR. But if it's something where like you're playing multiplayer or co-op and people are depending on you and, you got to be sure you hit targets, then I don't know. I think I would feel more comfortable.
We'll know once you try both and get back to us next week, Bobby. Our man on the street with a VR.
All right. Well, since we're at the end here, speaking of next week, what's everyone playing next week?
BPM. Definitely going to try that out. It definitely looks like I could just like play for a few minutes, have some fun, and get out. So I'm excited about that. And I keep telling myself I'm going to download that Star Wars game you just mentioned, Battlefront 2.
Oh, Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm getting into this coming week. I'm back to work tomorrow, so not as much time, but it'll be something new. Something will happen. What about you, Mayo? What are you playing?
I think I'm going to try to dig more into Valhalla this week before Cyberpunk comes out. Because Cyberpunk's going to end up taking up a bunch of my time, I feel. Mm-hmm. So kind of 11 days away. So I know I want to get my Valhalla time in. And then, we'll have like a lot of podcasts and gaming stuff. We'll do games of the year and all that kind of stuff. So I want to get my time in with Valhalla while I can, and then turn around and dig those last 20 hours or 20 days into Cyberpunk to see my thoughts on that game.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Don't get caught up too much on anything right before Cyberpunk comes out. Yeah. All right. And then where can people find you, on Twitter or on your podcast? What's the easiest way to get there?
The easiest way to find us is on Discord. We have a Horrible Gamers Discord channel. I can send a link if you guys want, or you can find me in the DLG Discord channel. You can right-click on me, and I can take a direct message and send you that way also.
How did we find it, Bobby?
I think it was on the invite
Facebook
to the Discord
page.
Was on your Facebook page. Yeah, you know what? If you send me the link on Discord, I'll make sure to put it in the show notes, so it'll make it really easy for people.
Yes, yeah, I can do that. But yeah, the Horrible Gamers podcast, we are pretty much on every platform you can find a podcast. We're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on, Google Cast, we are on iHeart and all those. So pretty much anywhere. It's got like a broken controller for our logo. Mm-hmm. But But yeah, like I said, I will send you a link. Also, we have a webpage that has the link on it also for our Discord. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of any of us and stuff. And like I said, I'm also in your community over here hanging out, and not as active as I should be anymore. I used to be quite a bit, but
Yeah, well, you got your own Discord server, and you guys typically have game nights on Friday nights, right?
Yes, we were doing some community nights. We had a lot of Among Us going, and now it's been some Phasmophobia going.
Nice,
but
good shit.
Yeah, that's kind of died down a little bit because of the holidays and stuff like that. But yeah, we will be picking that back up too.
Awesome,
Bobby. One last thing. I was really surprised that you didn't go to the MTG Arena, dude. Try it out. You see what it's like for a new player.
Nah, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll check that out this week. But yeah, I am getting very interested in Magic
because I could see the spark and the light in your eyes, dude.
You know what? I took that fire and I went back to Star Wars CCG.
Oh, no,
yeah,
dude.
I've been kind of getting back into that. Love that game, dude. Love that CCG game.
I took that fire and I threw it away.
Redirected it.
Yeah. All right, homie. Thanks for being on. We will talk to you later. And you are tastier than real mayonnaise, man, I gotta say.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been good.
Later, man.
You gonna sign us off?
Speaking for Mayo, Bobby, and myself, milky, creamy titties, everyone. Bye.
Gross.
Not gross.
Pretty quick.